Hey everyone, happy Tuesday. Heading in a few minutes early to get settled. Kind of check the sound. I am in the executive lounge, kind of going back and forth this week, as is my life at present. Just kind of always in transition, always in flux. So we have some exciting things to talk about. I'm actually at the moment, though, catching up on what I said one of my top business goals, top business habits that I am business and personal finance habits, which is to track my income for at least the next 7 days consistently. For the next 7 days consistently. That's what I've committed to. So I am entering in my bank accounts, and this is really the stream, and you guys are helping me because I remembered, because I had the stream coming up, that I wanted to check my business accounts and see what I've got coming in. So I'm doing that now. Nothing exciting happening other than just updating my own tracking. So you can do this real time with me. How exciting. It's just a reminder. If you haven't checked your bank accounts, personal and business, then you should maybe do that. 376. Because the thing is, I know when I get, oh, that's a lot. When I get discouraged, I just don't want to look because I know it's going to be bad. So I don't want to look at all. And then that avoiding the numbers leads to worse numbers, leads to avoiding the numbers, leads to worse numbers, leads to pain and agitation and heartburn. So that's not good, but I'm good that I know that it's not good. 4, 7. Okay. Done. Good Lord. So I am. Hey, Adam, how's it going? Right now, I am updating my tracking. Do it. It's like, ugh. But again, the way to dig yourself out of a hole is to stop digging the hole, but also to be very clear on where you are and to measure. Big Peter Drucker saying, what gets measured gets managed. So that's why it was so much. I get a nice easy pass payment. Excellent. I love that easy pass. You never know when your easy pass is going to come out. That's just wonderful. I'm sure there's, because I drive different variable mileage all the time, so I'm sure that's why it's a variable payment at a variable time. So it's a little frustrating to not be able to plan for, but it just is. Yes. Daryl Bratton, I have a look every couple of days so that you're on your zero-based budget. Yes, that's fantastic. And someone commented that they missed the days when I updated my budget every single month. And I'm like, yep, I don't do that. I don't do that. I don't share that publicly anymore. And there are a couple reasons for that. Number one is just privacy. Number two, and I feel like there are plenty of other channels that do that. So if that's what you're looking for, you can certainly find it. It's not going to be here for the foreseeable. But I understand what they're saying, and that's kind of how I started off, was very much sharing my budget story. All right, so we're at 12:01. Heading in now. Got my work stuff on one side and my this stuff on the other side, my this stuff on the other side. So we are continuing our discussion of goals, and kind of what came out from the discussion yesterday was the difference between things we can control and things we can't control. And something else that came out from this live stream, and actually it was an interesting spammy comment that I got. It's a very specific spam comment that was very negative, but very specific to my situation. And I was like, that's A, very rude, B, not very encouraging, but they have a point. So let's start with the goals and then things you can control versus things you can't control. Things I can control versus things I can't control. And so I've been working through my 5 goals for the next 5 years. I'm got my notes over here. And I've been watching some videos on goal setting because I have yet to find a really good video, because obviously like a 15-year plan is sort of long, right? It's a long time, and the people that are making YouTube videos haven't been planning their lives for 15 years, for the most part. So I went to a lot of like Brian Tracy, real good classic kind of old school kind of stuff. And a couple quotes that I love from Brian Tracy are, I wrote them down. Think on paper, which is just good. I hope you can't hear that. There's dogs barking outside. It's kind of funny. The other quote was, "Those who make plans take action," which is very true. I've seen that as well. Danny Walker. Yes. What was a spam comment? Very interesting. So, um, let me think about how I'm going to say this. So there were 2 that were really weird. It was like, again, the person had obviously either watched the video or was familiar with my situation. And this is adorable. I just deleted them because I'm like, don't feed the trolls. They're obviously trolling, so don't engage. But I wish I'd kept a screenshot so I can kind of share that at some point. So I kind of, this is the awful part of me. I'm like, I don't relish confrontation, but I'm like, I don't back down. So the first comment was, "Don't lie. Your mother's house isn't almost paid off. You and your spouse would move in to prevent foreclosure," which is hilarious to me because I'm like, "Oh, like that's like such like you have that much time on your hands that you're gonna leave a comment, like you're gonna take the time to physically type out a comment like that. Like that is the furthest thing from the truth." Um, I'm like, "Oh." So I almost left it, but then I didn't. I was like, "You know what? Nope, just move on." So I deleted that. The other comment was interesting, and it had to do, I'll be very vague. It had to do with my relationship and respect. And I kind of feel I want to be very judicious in what I say. Not so nice. I know, exactly. Yeah. And part of me just, I obviously deleted that one as well, but I'm like, there's a point there because the thing is, I know, and I want to be very, I know there are some things that I know for sure, and some things that I kind of wonder about, and some things that I know, but I don't like, that I know the answer to, and I don't like the answer. And the only person that can change the answer is me. Hey, hey, Roland. Hey, hey, glad you're here. You're 5 minutes late. I mean, come on. Happy you're here. Have a seat, sit down, relax. Glad you're here. So, Roland, by the way, I got your email. Adam, I also got your email. Very, very kind. Both of you. I'm just, let me not say I'm busy. I'm just kind of lazy. So, Monodactyl too sent me a cool email. Yes. So I just thank you all for sending emails. So going back to this, somebody left a very specific comment that was not very kind. But I realized that they had a point, and it had to do with respect in my relationship. And I try to be very judicious about what I see. Meeting is being called to order. Yes, yes, the well-behaved wallet is assembled. The meeting is being called to order. Exactly. Yes, thank you. It's funny. I was just on a board meeting for a local symphony last night. It's like, yes, we have a motion. Yes. We want to approve the minutes from last meeting. All in favor? Does someone want to make a motion to approve the minutes from last meeting? Motion carried. Yes, exactly. Oh, Daryl Bratton, 21 Habits of Self-Made Millionaires from Brian and Tracy. Yes. Exciting. See, the thing is, and this is the thing, if you find, I've spent some time reading self-development books. It's pretty much, you start to see some commonalities. Discipline, strategy, patience, hardworking, industrious, wake up early, go to bed early, healthy living, strong relationships. But that's a good recommendation, Daryl. Self-made millionaires. Okay, excellent. I wrote that down, Daryl. So the comment, being judicious about what I say because other people in my life didn't. My husband didn't sign up for this, and he kind of wants no part in this. Fair enough. Um, which I can understand. So because he's absolutely right. This is not he did not sign up for this and to have his life kind of made public. So I try to be very specific and about what I share and what I make public. And I thought I was being very sort of I don't want to say opaque in what I talk about, but this person's comment it's like, oh, okay, well, and again, grain of salt. These, we are all people behind a screen. We don't actually know each other. But again, this person had a thought or got me thinking because I always try to think, okay, if this makes me bristle or if I don't like this comment, why don't I like this? And I think because there was a grain of truth to it. And again, it had to do with respect. And I'm thinking to myself, do I respect myself? And I would, because relationships are a mirror more than anything else. Being in a very close relationship with someone, whether it's a friend, platonic, long-standing friendship or romantic relationship, you see yourself full on and you see yourself reflected in that other person. And chances are, if you're having a problem with something that the person is doing, you are doing the exact same thing. So I thought about this and I'm thinking, do I respect myself and what I've achieved and what I'm doing right now? And the very clear answer is no. I don't. And this is why. I don't respect myself because I know I have not been living up to my potential. I've just kind of been skating through my whole life. And I know I'm not alone in that. I'm not the only person that does that, but that doesn't make it okay for me. And I was kind of Googling last night because I had this realization. I was kind of thinking about it throughout the evening. And I kind of thought, what would it take for me to respect myself? Obviously, more money in the bank, more, stronger career, things like that. And sure, there's sometimes when you think, give yourself credit for what you're doing, of course. But I also feel like that's kind of letting myself off the hook a little bit. And I was Googling like how to build self respect. And it's like, have a good sense of self worth, know and respect your own boundaries, be assertive. And I know that none of those things are problems for me. What is a problem for me is actually doing the work on the things that I know I'm capable of. So, actually executing, which brings me back to a list I made of things I can control and things I can't control. And I did this yesterday after the live stream, and I was kind of working through it with another friend who is on YouTube as well. And I made a list of things I can control and things I can't control. And it was really, really helpful because there are only 2 things on the list that I can't control. And here's what I can control. I can control the number of videos I film, the quality of the videos I film, what I eat, how much I move, what I buy, how much I spend, how I organize my things. The list is endless about what I can control, and the list is very finite on what I can't control. And I know if you're anything like me, sometimes what you can't control tends to be very overwhelming, and it's very easy to focus on things you can't control. So, that aside, that's just kind of a realization. Moving on to things I can control. So, I mentioned at the top of the video, I had been tracking my business income in this side of of my planner. This is the Sprouted planner, which I love. Thoroughly recommend. So, I think what I know, my goal for this month is to build self-respect by taking action, by acting and moving into my full potential. Because that's always been a say an issue, a concern. That's always been something that I've struggled with is, working up to my potential. And I've spoken about this in other videos as well, but that's you can change that. So, I guess going back to the idea of goals, So I know you guys all have goals because you're strong sort of high achieving individuals. And I think I don't know if it'd be interesting. I'm a woman and I feel like at least the four of you that I'm seeing are all men. Five of you. Um and it's not a female versus male thing. I know because there's very many high achieving women out there as well. It's just an interesting sort of dichotomy between women and men and the tendency toward action for men versus women. But it's just something I wonder about too. Is there more of a bias toward action for men than for women? So I'm planning out goals for the next 5 years and then crafting my own 15-year plan. Thank you, Anthony, Frame of Mind. So, working on that, and to be honest, I sat down and I thought about with the planning. Roland Holland, having or developing a strong sense of self will help reveal the path that's most fulfilling to you. Most people are on autopilot a good portion of their lives or forever. It's good to take control. Yes, very true. And for me, I think, and it's kind of interesting because I make a big distinction between sense of self and respect. And sure, having a sense of self is good, but I think that kind of gets I'm gonna say overtaken, but pushed to the side when you're caught up in life and the demands of everyday life, which can be huge and great. But yeah, absolutely, it is good to take control. So, I had mentioned yesterday, excellent. Okay, doing the Kekich credos. Um, so these were compiled by Joe Polish, who was a friend of Dave Kekich, um, who wrote these sort of sayings as a result of his life experiences. He was paralyzed in an accident that paralyzed him, and he kind of built his life up from that. So they are priceless. So if you just Google Kekich, it's Kekich credos, you'll find them. They're easily downloadable. So this is interesting. Joe Polish, his introduction says they're priceless. Reading and applying them every day will give you insight, clarity, and a positive effect in every aspect of your life, from business to your personal life. It's very true. I think I found these maybe 10, 12 years ago, and I refer to them every now and then, especially when it comes to setting those goals. Because to be honest, I again, I mentioned this yesterday that my goals for the next 5 years are not, I'm not hugely excited by them because they just seem like everyday normal life. Like there's nothing spectacular. So I'm really working on that because I can't see myself putting out huge effort to be just normal. It doesn't resonate with me. So I'm really working on getting a vision that encompasses my 5-year goals that is exciting. So that's my mission. In the meantime, these are my goals for the next 5 years. Hello, Matt's Gambling Slots. Good afternoon. Well, still morning on my end. Yes, exactly. Matt, where are you coming from? We are in the Northeast out here in Manhattan. It's kind of dreary and cold, but it's like a stay indoors kind of day. Not raining, so that's positive. Anyway, so I do not think so. Budget Girl on YouTube has trolls as well. She's very successful for her starting point. Yeah, oh my gosh, she's amazing. Yes, very true. Yeah, so as to the idea between men versus Northern California, nice. Men versus women, yes, absolutely. She had a lot of autonomy. Oh gosh. And she was also in a very low cost of living area. But she was not making a ton of money either. So yeah, she's done amazing. She's really, really done great things for sure. Yeah, that's it, Adam. What else do I want my goals to be if I'm not excited by the ones I set the other day? That's the thing is I that's what I'm thinking through, and that's what I'm developing right now. I don't know. That's why I'm still working on it, is because I'm not sure. Like, am I excited about still being married and having 2 kids? Sure. But that's not something out of the realm. It's not something unusual. I think it's something that would be wonderful, and I would feel very blessed to have. But it's within the realm of possibility, and it's very sort of normal life path. Um, Again, these are things that would be wonderful: physically fit, own my own home, be and stay consumer debt free, and 100K in the bank. Maybe kind of mapping out more what it would look like, the individual aspects of what it would look like would be exciting. That was something that uh, who suggested that? Roland Holland suggested that. Just seeing the path to get there. Sorry, the last 10 minutes. Hey, Danny. Where are we now? So we're talking about having a focusing on what we can control when it comes to achieving our goals, and having exciting kind of compelling visions. I think maybe that's more the word that I'm looking for, not so much goals, but visions, as in what do you want that goal to look like owning your own home is a very, sort of broad and vague goal. But if you want to own a 4,000 square foot square foot home with cathedral ceilings on 2 acres of land, and that's a little bit more specific. So yeah, so we're talking about, I guess vision is the right word. Also, I was going to read a couple of the Kekich credos, which I think would be kind of really interesting to bring into the discussion. Thank you for Kekich. Right? It's really good, Daryl, right? They're good. So this is credo number 1. People will do almost anything to stay in their comfort zones. If you want to accomplish anything, get out of your comfort zone. Strive to increase order and discipline in your life. Discipline usually means doing the opposite of what you feel like doing. Almost always. The easy roads to discipline are setting deadlines, discovering what you do best and what's important and enjoyable to you, and focusing on habits by replacing your bad habits and thought patterns one by one over time with good habits and thought patterns. So that's Kekich Credo number 1. And it's so true. I think that I'm right at this moment sitting in my comfort zone. I've just kind of adapted to being sort of comfortable, not sort of, definitely comfortable. The right thing to do is usually the hardest. Oh my goodness, yes, hardest thing to do, always counter to your will. Very, very true. For example, waking up early is the right thing to do. Always, almost always counter to what I actually want to do, what my will is to sleep in. Although lately, like I've been getting groggy if I sleep in past like 8. I don't know, what time do you guys get up normally? So I am not an early riser by nature, but I love being awake. Like it's hard to wake up, but I love the feeling once I am awake. And I know that I'm like 8 times more productive, 10 times more productive when I wake up early. Um, thanks, Danny. Start your job and quit your job and start your business. Oh, Danny. That's cute. So I would. So Danny, how do you manage your health insurance? If you're overseas, they probably have national health insurance. Is that right? So when I was working in Korea, they had national health insurance. So that was pretty exciting. And that's not my biggest, I would say my biggest concern, but that's the most pressing concern and the thing that I'm grateful the most for from my job. And somebody else left another comment that said, time to quit your job. You're not making enough. And my response was, definitely would love to make a little bit more money, but that's not the only thing that is. I've said it better in the comment, like a job is more than a salary, which is true. So for me, here are the things that I'm grateful for in my day job: low stress, good people, simple responsibilities, known tasks, known clients, remote, I can work from anywhere, and health insurance. So these are these 6 things are I'm really grateful for in my day job. So here's the other thing is I plan to have business tasks that I can work hard on. And say work hard and work smart, work like a dog on. Because right now not that I don't know them, I know them. I don't feel like doing them. Whew. Do you work during the weekends? I do. I did. And here's the thing. I was thinking of you, Danny, because I'm thinking, all right, where do I want to put my energy? I actually did. I finished my taxes. So that was good. And what that did was gave me a clear framework moving forward, for how I'm going to organize myself for this year. So I actually claimed a lot more in deductions, um, which was great, but also will put me on the radar to have to file quarterly estimates every quarter. So I'm happy to do that. But it's like, okay, now I need to actually do that. And I have a bunch of friends who are doing that now. So I can sort of ask them for advice, friends in similar industries, sort of creative industries that can give me advice on that. So yes, I did work during this weekend. Like a dog, maybe not, but I did work. So that's positive. Roland Holland, who can you help if you have financial independence? How many could you help now? That's not a motivating vision. I wish it were. I wish I were a better person like that, but it's like, eh. Matt's gambling slots. Nice to hear about your job. At least it's not that bad. I work 12-hour nights in a lab. Been doing it almost 5 years, tiring, still deciding my next step exactly. And I feel like having a job is although I would say the employment market has changed a little bit, but I still think having and holding down a job, especially for 5 years, is pretty darn amazing. So props to you, Matt. Daryl Bratton, I'm going to post some of these positive sayings on your Facebook page. It's all about your spreading positivity. Excellent. Yes, Daryl, what's your Facebook page? I'll have to go check you out. So the second Kekich credo, these are not positive. These are like hard truth. I feel like these are tough love truth. Matt, you're welcome. Cherish time. So Kekich credo number 2, cherish time, your most valuable resource. You can never make up the time you lose. It's the most important value for any productive, happy individual, and it is the only limitation to all accomplishments. To waste time is to waste your life. The most important choices you'll ever make are how you use your time, and that is 100% true. Terrifying and true. Wow, Danny Walker, you've replaced 5 employees in the last 12 months. Yep. Frame of mind. Hello. Hey, Anthony. We're talking about you and your 15-year plan. You should make a YouTube video on that. I find that fascinating. I'd watch it over and over. Tough market. Yes, it is, especially if you're looking for like a specific skill. So, Danny, did those employees leave or did you like have to release them? So, yeah, it is a tough market for sure. So, yeah, you should definitely holding a job is an accomplishment. Yes. So going back to goals, and it's easy to get kind of burnt out. I feel like I'm already getting a little bit like exhausted thinking about them. I'm like, oh, great. Because I'm gonna say because why? Because sometimes they feel very like far off. But what if I were to break them down and be like, okay, this is step 1, this is step 2, this is, oh yeah, no, always employee-based turnover. Yes, very true. People coming and going, I'm sure. So I think breaking them down, actually, that's interesting. So what if, and this is the homework, that's how the homework works. This is a facial cleanser. Oh, nice. Homework for me for tomorrow is to break out like a year by year plan. And I know that, so going back to this Kekich credo about replacing your bad habits and thought patterns, I for sure did that. Specifically to do with relationships. I identified the lies I had in my head about relationships and replaced them with the truth. So that's something that I've done and seen very positive results in. So I think for me, what I'm going to do for these next 5-year goals is break it down into year by year steps and then break it down into month by month and then week and day tasks. And that, I think that should help. That will help for sure. Danny Walker, this is your pet peeve. It was never about money. You pay to 25% over market. Many people expect the employer to provide meaning in all aspects of life. Yeah, it's true. Employees must find meaning on their own and be self-reliant. Work is work, but they cannot expect the employer to fulfill spirituality, social needs, etc. Yes. And especially if you're in an Eastern country, that's very much the expectation, very much, is that your job is your life. in all aspects, that the company will take care of you. So I can understand that. Yeah, oh, for sure. I don't feel like that's the case. At least I haven't seen that being the case here in the Northeast, or I guess in the greater North America. I don't think I've ever looked to my employer to find that. And I think meaning and purpose these are unpopular opinions. No, 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 I don't think that's unpopular at all. I think where you are, it's probably very unpopular, but I don't think it's unpopular or unusual here. I can't think of anyone who looks to their job to provide meaning for them. Helping other people is an easy way to get rich. Strategically, yes. People love helping a helpful person, especially in business. Sure, yes. And I know there's a Zig Ziglar quote, you can get anything you want as long as you help other people get everything they want. It's true. I've also seen a lot of people get taken advantage of by just helping. So, or get into like not bad situations, but um, abusive is the wrong where someone takes advantage of you situations. But this is a truth. Company culture, aligning interests is great. But what do you want to do when someone is highly paid but leaves because you don't meet their social needs? Exactly. But you're not doing enough company dinners. You're not doing enough picnics, Danny. Maybe you should do more picnics. I mean, come on. That's funny, actually, which I completely disagree with. These like studies you read that say, oh, millennials are looking for meaning. They want purpose more than compensation. I'm like, I just want compensation. Just like pay me more. That's fine. Like if you were to pay me 25%, sure, like I will stay at that company. I mean, this is nuts. Yeah, very much nuts. But again, I'm wondering if it's the culture in the country that you're in that is the culprit, not necessarily the money. Matt, yeah, exactly. Help others, but set a limit and don't get taken advantage of. Yes, I agree that it's good to be helpful for sure. I'm also, Roland, kind of going through, I say fatigue. That's the wrong word. I'm going through a reassessment in my life because I spent many, many, many years, pretty much my whole life in like a very strong evangelical circle that I look to for meaning and purpose. And that was not right. that was wrong. And the community didn't give me meaning and purpose. The spirituality is still that's I feel like that's always going to be that is a part of my fabric and who I am. But the community, I'm like, meh. So it's tough for me to sort of separate philanthropy or helping from doing well. Like, I guess when you talk about meaning and purpose, it's tough for me to, or like, oh, does helping, how many people could you help if you were financially independent? Like, I just, myself and my family, like that's who I really care about right now. And of course, I mean, that extends, right? But I think if you can't take care of yourself and your family, then I mean, that's biblical, right? Then you're worse than nobody if you can't take care of yourself and your family. Yeah, Danny, I'll come work with you. Yes, exactly. I don't know if I have this particular skill set you're looking for, but yeah, no, I'd work for 25% more for sure. Yes, Daryl, excellent. Thank you for getting. I'm glad you have a 5-year goals now too. Like Mad Men. You never said thank you. That's what the money was for. Yes, actually, bringing me back to Kekich Credo number 5. Always show gratitude when earned, monetarily when possible. Exactly. Yes. So the company my husband works for did this like employee appreciation thing. And they handed out they gave everybody lunch and they handed out $100 bars and Swedish fish. And this card just says, "You're a big fish in a sea. Thanks for your dedication." And it's like, no, just pay us more because they pay very low. Like they pay about 25% below market rate. So yeah, money is a big part of. No, I don't say money is a big part. It's not the only motivation, but it's a significant motivation. So when it comes to meaning, I would say that spirituality is a huge part of how I define myself still. I'm very much in the process of figuring out what that looks like, especially at this new sort of point in my life that I'm working through at present. So that it's an interesting place to be. Okay, so homework for tomorrow is to build out a year by year plan to accomplish this goal, vision for that, whatever I want to call it, and to read through the Kekich Credos, everyone. They're great, very helpful in your journey to financial independence, financial freedom. Take action. And for me, also to kind of meditate and take action on this idea of respect and the actions that gain respect for myself. What actions or achievements do I want to have that will lead to self-respect? And it's more than just a feeling for me. Oh, you can, like practice asserting yourself or having good boundaries or cultivate, don't be so hard on yourself. Bull. For me, it's about doing things. Like I don't respect myself because I sit around, I'm like a lazy log doing a quarter of what I know I'm capable of doing. So that's why I don't respect myself. If I would get up and do, even if I did 50% more, that would just be 75% of what I'm capable of. So that's why I don't respect myself, is because I sit on my butt too much. So that's what I'm talking about for me in self-respect. Jesus, I know that everyone says time is our most valuable resource, but you have always disagreed with that. You've always said that our most valuable resource is health. Yes. Yes, I would agree with that as well. Yes. Um, because if you think about it, would you rather have 15 years of perfect health and then be done, or would you rather have 30 years of like moderate health? I don't know. It's a trade-off, but I would agree with you, Jesus, for sure. Health is essential. Again, the healthy man has many worries, but the sick man only has one. So I would agree that health is certainly a valuable resource. All right, guys. So we got our homework. I got my homework. You got your homework for tomorrow. And I'll hop back in then, building self-respect through respectable actions. That's what we're doing right now. All right, guys. Take care and have a good rest of your day. And I'll see you soon. Bye.